Tumekuja leo kwa sababu our katiba is 16 years old, but there's nothing to celebrate. The man who was against the constitution, the man who fought against the new constitution, is the man in charge. We have disappearances, abductions, na kuna shida nyingine kubwa sana katika nchi yetu leo hii, na ni mambo ya goonism. Our young people are being killed for organizing, young people are being killed for gathering, and our demand is very, very simple. If the president of this country, who did not vote for this constitution, cannot obey it, we demand for him to resign. We don't have to wait until next year for him to leave power. He can leave power tomorrow because the man who's in charge today is not obeying the constitution. Ruto is defiling our constitution. We're not safe. The women are not safe. The kids are not safe. We're not safe in the streets. We're not safe in our homes. And that is why we are here to say today, as we celebrate the constitution that he did not vote for, and because he did not believe in it, the man must go home. We don't even have to wait until next year for him to resign. Our country needs new leadership, and that new leadership is not Kasongo, is not UDA, is not the people in power. So tukisema leo kama Wakenya, hakuna kitu yoyote ambayo tunasherehekea kwa sababu Wakenya wanalala njaa kwa sababu ya nani? Ruto. Wakenya wanapigwa kila siku kwa sababu ya nini? Ruto. Wakenya wanaumia kila siku kwa sababu ya Ruto. Kwa hivyo kama hawezi linda maisha ya Wakenya, kama hawezi linda maisha yetu, kama hawezi chunga pesa zetu, tunaomba ajiuzulu. Na kijiuzulu tutafanya uchaguzi kesho. Kuna Wakenya wengi ambao wanaenda kugombea kiti cha urais. Naomba kwamba wajiuzulu ndio Wakenya wakuwe safe, because the biggest threat to our country and the biggest threat to young people is Mr. Ruto. So Mr. Ruto, our demand is very simple today, that if you cannot safeguard our lives, if you cannot protect our property, if you cannot protect us, please resign and Kenya can start afresh. Kwa sababu wewe mwenyewe hauamini hii katiba. Hii katiba kuipigia kura, hii katiba huipendi, hii katiba unaivunja. Ndio tunasema kwamba Ruto lazima ajiuzulu ndio Kenya iende mbele. Na kama hatajiuzulu, tunajipanga sisi wote kama watu upinzani, all the aspirants in this country ambao who are running for president, we are going to unite to have one candidate so that Mr. Ruto goes home, because he's the biggest threat to our existence.
My name is Shakira Wafula. An active citizen and a representative for Tukokadi. Today I'd like to speak to my fellow Kenyans, in particularly the young people. Our new constitution begins with all sovereign power belongs to the people, and we acknowledge that we are the people. So as the people in whose hands is sovereignty, how are we going kutekeleza katiba? How are we going to ensure that our constitution is implemented? I'd like to urge young people to register to vote, and while after registering to vote, to make sure that they do proper audits on the people who are presenting themselves as leaders, on the politicians who are offering themselves to be elected into power. And come the next general election, whenever it will be, whether it's next year, August 10th, or earlier, if Ruto resigns, I urge Ruto, please resign. When to go to the ballot with not only heart and love for our country, but with the consciousness to choose leaders who are actually going to represent us, leaders who are actually going to implement the constitution, and not just vote, but protect the vote. Mimi niko Kadi because Rex Masai deserves to be alive here today. So wewe, mbona uko Kadi? Thank you.
Julius Kamau, nimemzoea tu kwa barabara. Ataongelesha wa Kenya leo.
Okay, wa Kenya mpo. Viva comrades, viva.
Viva.
So my name is Julius Kamau Kimani. I'm a human rights defender, a man who loves justice, and I've been fighting for it for some time now, for quite some time. But I want to say that today is Katiba Day. We are celebrating. Maybe on one side, there are those who are celebrating. Maybe the constitution is good to them. There are those who are mourning. There are those who are suffering. The constitution is bad to them. So what I want to say is that there's a certain narrative that is peddled that we have the best constitution in the world. But what I want to say is that, as someone said, that we made the best constitution. But the problem is we added it to the betrayers of our people's freedom to implement it. We added it to the older ruling class to implement our constitution. That's the problem we have. So that is why we are seeing bad things happening. People are still being killed in police stations, but this constitution is still in place. So you ask yourself why? How can you tell the mother of Rex Masai that we have a constitution, the best constitution in the world? It can't wash to her, you see. So what we need is to wake up our people, to wake up our minds. I believe that to change this country, to liberate Africa, as one of our comrades from Zimbabwe has said, we need to unite. And the only way for us to unite is to wake up our minds and bring down the people who use divide and rule to oppress Africans in their own land. And so what I would say is, I've been saying this for long, that the moment we shall come out and condemn tribalism and divide and rule tactics used by the current African leaders to oppress Africans, to exploit Africans, that is when we shall be able to take hold of our land, of our resources, of the things that we have lost to these corrupt people. Today, there is also another incident that happened the other day. There was a young man who was shot in Kenya Kanas by the police. You see, people are told they are trespassing. How can you trespass in your own land? This land should belong to the Kenyan people. Kenya Kanas is a multinational company. And as one African leader said, I think it was a Zambian vice president, Simon Kapepo, who said that if we do not handle our independence well, colonialists will come back as investors. That's what they did. We are not in control of our economy. In fact, we are not in control of anything in our own country. We are still slaves. We are still we are ruled by puppets, by stooges of the colonial. Our leaders are still white men in black skins. So Kenyans, let's come out and join this journey. Boniface has said that we must force Ruto to resign. And I think Boniface, we must come out boldly and start this movement to tell Ruto to resign before 2027. Because what I see ahead of us in 2027 is not an election. It is a virus that will come. People will be butchered. People will be displaced. People will be evicted. People will kill one another. So why should we wait for us to go to the ballot when knowing so well that is what's going to happen? Because as long as Ruto is in power, that is what's going to happen. So let's come together and unite and speak with one voice that will shake the systems, the structures, the institutions that have been used for all these years, more than 60 years, to enslave Africans in their own land. Thank you so much for now.
Yeah, viva.
Viva.
Much has already been said, but I think I'm also here to remind Kenyans that Article 3 of the Constitution reminds us that it is every citizen's duty to defend and protect the Constitution. So as we gather here today, we acknowledge and appreciate all of those who came before us, who fought, who sacrificed, who even gave their lives for the freedoms that all Kenyans enjoy today. And as we look at what's happening in Kenya and around the continent, all of Africa is concerned for Kenya. Because if we keep following this pattern of goonism, of lawlessness, of suspension of our constitution, we set a very dangerous precedent. So we have to all come together to safeguard the rights, the freedoms that have been fought for by those who came before us, that many of us enjoy today. A constitution is also only as good as the life that we give it. As we look around us here at Jivanji, we see youth on the streets with no food, with no shelter, with no education, with no dignity. We see women being killed. We see state-sponsored violence. We see enforced disappearances. And we see people who are holding leadership positions who are saying they are incompetent and unable to deal with the challenges we are facing. So as Kenyans, we deserve better. We will fight for better. As Wangari Maathai said, human rights are not things that are put on the table for people to enjoy. They must be fought for and they must be protected. So as we honor those who came before us, we all must remember that it is our constitutional duty to safeguard our katiba, fight for the Kenya that we deserve, and fight for the Kenya that we dream of. Pamoja.
Asante. Hii. Raila hakuwa mnatoa. Naitwa Happy Olal, National Convener Social Justice Movement Kenya. Leo ni siku ya maana sana katika nchi hii. In fact, leo ni public holiday kwa watu ambao wanaelewa ukatiba. Na tunasema miaka 16 iliyopita kuna mtoto alizaliwa anaitwa Katiba. Lakini huyu mtoto amenajisiwa sana. Na tunasema lazima hiyo unajisi uishe. kwa sababu ukiangalia mambo ya education, hii wiki wazazi wanahangaika sana kupeleka watoto shule kwa hela nyingi sana, lakini kwa karatasi inasema shule ni bure. Mambo ya healthcare, nurses saizi wako on strike 16 years later. Nurses are on strike, lakini tunaambua mambo iko sawa. Ile corruption ambayo inaendelea kwa hii nchi, mambo ya insecurity, siku hizi unakaa ukiwa rada, kwa sababu either ni polisi ama ni nani,
Jambazi.
ama ni jambazi. They have taken over the country. Na tunaelekea uchaguzi, hatujui kama uchaguzi utakuwa wa amani ama itakuwa na tabu. Ndio maana tunasema lazima tujikumbushe ukatiba, na tunasema ya kwamba uchaguzi ambao unakuja next year, mwaka ujao, itakuwa kuhusu katiba. Either uko upande wa kutekeleza katiba ama uko huo upande mwingine wa kudhulumu katiba. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru sana Wakenya ambao wamesema leo ni siku muhimu ya kucelebrate, na ni muhimu kucelebrate kwa street, kwa sababu serikali wana make sure streets zetu siku hizi zimekuwa very unsafe. Ukiungana hivi kidogo polisi. Tunasema article 37 inaturuhusu kukutana, kuandamana, kufanya mikutano na kila kitu. Kwa hivyo Wakenya ambao wako hapa, msiogope ati nini itatendeka. Tuko hapa kwa sababu ya katiba na ukatiba. Tekeleza katiba, tekeleza.
Tekeleza.
President wa bunge la mwananchi.
I, as Mwalimu Ruben Kigame, am here this morning to celebrate the most important thing that ever happened in the history of our country. And that is to give the people of Kenya on the 27th of August 2010 a document that was a people document. The first document, we did not participate. It was signed out of the country called Lancaster, and it oppressed us. And I'm here to celebrate freedom because now we have a document that we own. It begins with we the people. And I hold this flag very proudly because I'm here to link this flag of freedom with what happened on 27th August 2010. But I'm also here to celebrate the Constitution as someone who is living with disability. So I'm here to celebrate inclusive democracy in a country that says people like me should be on the streets begging, in a country that says I can't run for office, in a country that says some people cannot vote. I'm here to represent them that the dawn is here and our Constitution and this flag entitles us to inclusion. And I'm here to also celebrate the activists and those who have spoken and suffered because of this document. Ndugu Boniface Mwangi has been tortured in Tanzania, even in this country. Some of the people standing here have been abducted. They have been tear gassed because of wanting a people-centered nation. It's a shame. So I'm here to resist that kind of treatment of our Katiba. I am here to resist the mistreatment of our women. I am here to object and mistreat, to object the mistreatment of our young people. I am here to reject completely the abductions and holding incommunicado of people that simply want a better country. Lastly, I'm here to celebrate this Katiba as the document that gives us an opportunity to entrench values and integrity and accountability in our country. This country has gone rogue. Stealing is not enough. They kill at will. They kill, they say they will investigate, nothing happens. And so I'm here to speak for the many that were killed in the cause of freedom, those who've suffered and been jailed in the cause of freedom. We are here to say, mwisho, it's the end, we want a better country. Lastly, I want to say that this document is the only thing that we must really fight for in the next coming elections. Anyone who is not interested in the rule of law and constitutionalism should not hold office. Anyone who is not willing to protect this constitution should be left out of leadership completely. And so I call upon everyone aspiring, and especially the young people, to come out in large numbers, register and vote, and defend the second liberation, the Constitution of Kenya. God bless you all, and God bless this country.